RetroDaze.
So there you are, smack dab in the middle of August with only a couple of weeks of summer left. And wouldn't you know it, a huge thunderstorm just hit. And worse, your parents, the great doomsayers of your young life, alert you to the possibility of a full week of rain. What devilry is this? You're pretty sure all the teachers from your elementary school must have gotten together to perform a cursed ritual in a sadistic plot to steal the last days of summer from the youth of the world.
Ha! Shows what they know. There is no way we're gonna let those adults get away with their evil plan. No, sir. I have a few tricks up my sleeve for rainy summer days like this, and the RetroDaze team is gonna pull out all the stops.
Weather alert! Weather alert!
Hey, that's Mr. Kite!
We're going to have some rain, Pee-wee, and from the looks of those clouds, it's going to be a big storm.
Are you sure?
Absolutely!
Sitting indoors during a rainstorm is a unique form of torture, especially so close to the end of summer, when by all rights you should be outside riding your bike, playing basketball, and going to the park. In a particularly melancholy state, you press your face to the fogged up window and mutter, "Rain, rain, go away. Come again another day." But the rain doesn't stop. It only falls heavier than before. A snap of intense light is followed by the immediate crack of thunder, and all the bulbs flicker. "Whoo, doggy," your dad says. "That one was close. Come on now, stay away from the windows, just in case." You say, "I was gonna meet up with John and Alyssa at the arcade." The words come out like a weedy whine and you cringe, hoping your dad doesn't comment on it. Instead, he only says, "It'll have to wait for another day. Sorry, kiddo." Hold the phone. Something hits you. How are you even here, back in that peculiar mishmash of the 70s, 80s, and 90s? It reminds you of those YouTube videos, but wait, what the heck is YouTube? The doorbell rings and your heart lurches. Something to do! You scramble to reach the door before anyone else, and you swing it open to reveal little me, still wearing my Atari hat and Pac-Man fanny pack from our trip to the movies, and adolescent Alyssa in her Nickelodeon gear and neon accessories. It all comes rushing back. You took another ride on the RetroDaze magic time machine. But why here, and why now, during a stupid rainstorm? I can see the confusion on your face and say, "Don't you remember all the fun you can have when it's raining?" "No, not really," you reply. "Even better," Alyssa exclaims, "there's nothing like being reminded of nearly lost memories." "Yeah, okay, I guess," you say. "Like what?" Alyssa smiles. "Like so many things." Ah, video games, the salvation of many a bored kid across the world. After the advent of at-home gaming with the release of the Magnavox Odyssey in 1972, Home Pong in 1975, the Coleco Telstar in 76, and the Atari 2600 in 1977, there were finally video game options for the days when you couldn't make it to the arcade, like during today's blustery summer storm. Now that you're on board with our little thunderstorm party of the past, you lead Alyssa and me to your rec room and present an alarmingly wide variety of systems from across the decades. Next to the Atari 2600 sits an NES, and next to that a Sega Genesis, and next to that is the TurboGrafx 16.
It's coming soon to a television set near you, an incredibly advanced video game system. Are you ready for these amazing graphics and vibrant colors? Can you handle the speed and the power? How about the capacity for stereo sound and for 5 players? You decide before September, because it's coming. TurboGrafx 16, the higher energy video game system. Games sold separately.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up, I say. You have a TurboGrafx? Like barely anyone has that system. Alyssa removes a device that looks suspiciously like Ziggy from Quantum Leap and starts typing something. A few Ziggy-esque sound effects later and she reveals 1.7 million TurboGrafx-16 consoles were sold between its release in 1989 and 1991, if we're talking solely United States sales figures. In comparison, the Sega Genesis, which came out 2 weeks earlier, sold 500,000 units in the first year alone, 1.5 million by 1990, and 3.1 million by 1991. In addition, that same year, the Super Nintendo launched with 2 million total US sales. Not to mention, by 1991, the NES had racked up a whopping 31.9 million US sales. The point being, yes, comparatively, there were far fewer households with a TurboGrafx-16 console. I sputter. Thanks, Alyssa. That was comprehensive. Let's just play some bonk. What do you say?
TurboGrafx-16 is about to knock video games back into the Stone Age. It's 10,000 years ago. You're a cave dude. You are carnivorous. You've got to bonk 28 stages of prehistoric bad guys to rescue your excellent-looking princess. And you've only got one weapon. Bonk's Adventure, only on the TurboGrafx-16 system.
If the TurboGrafx-16 had a mascot, like Nintendo's Mario or Sega's Sonic, then Bonk was most assuredly it. Though Bonk's Adventures would eventually also be ported to other systems, including the NES, Amiga, Game Boy, and the arcades. Either way, the game is incredibly fun, and we all gather around the wonderfully cubic CRT television to control the big-headed caveman as he jumps on flowers and headbutts various creatures. After that, we slide out the unique Hue card, which were these thin, credit card-sized cartridges, and insert Devil's Crush Pinball, another favorite right alongside the original installment of Alien Crush. The multi-tiered nature of each machine, crawling creatures, and dark ambiance all make either game a prime choice for this dreary day. After a few games, you start getting fidgety again and say, "We can play video games anytime. What else do you have planned?"
I wonder how long it will rain.
According to my calculations, it's going to rain all day.
Gee, all day.
Boy, I guess the whole day is ruined.
Why do you say that, Jerry?
Well, for one thing, Pee-wee's gonna be sitting on me all day.
No way! Rainy days are special days. There's a lot of really fun stuff we can do while it's raining. I know. Let's make
What do you want to make, Pee-wee?
paper airplanes. Hey, everybody go and get a piece of paper.
Paper airplanes? You say, "Get real." Okay, fine. That's maybe a little too basic. How about this, though? The rain is starting to slow, so why not build paper boats that we can sail down the gutter rivers? What's with the face? Oh, I know what you're thinking.
Hi, Georgie.
Don't worry, I can guarantee there aren't any sewer clowns out there. Alligators? Maybe, but no clowns. And since we're out here in the rain anyway, we might as well conduct a few rain foot races. They were one of my favorite things to do as a kid, and seeing as how we have teenage knees again, we might as well put these bad boys to work. Ready, set, go! Whew, okay. Even as a kid, I'm pretty beat. We spend a few more minutes jumping in puddles, and since we lost our paper boats, taking random leaves or anything that will float and sending them on down the little river. As fun as this all is, now we're soaked, so we head back inside to dry off and find something else to do.
Hey, hold on for 15 seconds, voiceover John, on Cam John here for a simple request of our viewers. If you're enjoying today's topic, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and clicking that notification bell so you never miss another nostalgic moment with us here at RetroDaze. Okay, get back to work, you slouch.
I'm not sure what it is about rainy days, but they always feel like the perfect time for movies and popcorn. What better way to spend a dreary day when you can't or don't want to go outside? Luckily, you have a couple VHS rentals from your visit to Blockbuster yesterday, and they're sitting atop the VCR in their white, blue, and yellow plastic cases. You hold up the videos to reveal our options: Jurassic Park and Dolls. Both are solid choices given the storm raging outside. Jurassic Park has the big rainstorm finale, and the storm in Dolls causes the protagonist's car to become stuck in mud. Being a wonderfully campy 80s horror movie, they of course end up at an old mansion for the night. You tell us it was the creepy VHS cover art that made you rent this one. The doll holding its own eyeballs was simply too good to pass up. We decide to watch both movies. It's not like we're going anywhere today, which means boatloads of popcorn are needed. For that, there were 3 methods available to us.
Hello, I'm Orville Redenbacher with my famous gourmet popping corn and my new gourmet microwave popping corn in handy pop and serve bag. My special kernels pop lighter and fluffier than other corns. So do mine. Just pop it in your microwave, then pop it in your mouth. Mine tastes light and fluffy too. So does mine. Pop my gourmet popping corn or my new gourmet microwave popping corn. For the lightest, fluffiest popcorn, there's only one. Orville Redenbacher.
Alyssa chooses the fastest method for her popcorn, the microwave. You have Orville Redenbacher and Pop's Secret. Since it's going to take us longer with our selections, she decides to make a bag of each. You reach for the classic air popper, mainly because you love melting a slab of butter in the little compartment on the top while the popcorn pops.
Time was you had to go to the movies for great-tasting popcorn popped with hot air instead of hot oil. Now there's the Wherever Popcorn Pumper, the first electric hot air home corn popper. The Wherever Popcorn Pumper pops up batch after batch of big, light, delicious-tasting popcorn just like at the movies. The great taste of movie theater popcorn. It took the Wherever Popcorn Pumper to bring it home.
Oh, popcorn!
See the Wherever Popcorn Pumper at all Gimbal stores.
As for me, well, I reach for a classic Jiffy Pop stovetop popper.
Gather round the Jiffy Pop. Gather round the Jiffy Pop. The Jiffy Pop.
The Jiffy Pop.
Gather round the Jiffy Pop, the family fun treat.
And here's great fun, a Jungle Book Magic Picture Kit, free in specially marked packages of Jiffy Pop popcorn. Each kit's a different scene from Walt Disney Productions' full-length feature, Jungle Book. 4 fun scenes in all.
Here comes the Jiffy Pop. Fresh, hot, and delicious every time because you make it yourself. Gather round the Jiffy Pop, the family fun treat.
When the movies end and we're all filled up with popcorn and soda, we play a few rounds of Uno, Go Fish, and War before boredom comes creeping back, and you say, for the last time, is it ever gonna stop raining?
Rainy days are yucky.
Let's use our imagination.
Okay.
I'll be a superhero.
I'm my sister. I'm a circus star.
Hey, sounds like a herd of elephants up there.
No, only one. McDonald's.
We sometimes forget how much of childhood was made up of pure fantasy and imagination. But after our little trip in the magic time machine, we remember the pure joy of creation. You run off and grab a stack of drawing paper and a bunch of crayons, markers, and colored pencils. Let's make a comic, you exclaim. Alyssa says, what should it be about? A crack of thunder causes us all to jump. We peer through the bedroom window at the cloudy, wet world, and I suggest, how about a water monster that breaks into the house and we have to defeat it if we ever want it to stop raining? We all agree that it's the best idea any of us have ever heard of and is likely to be adapted into a movie that will win an Oscar and make us filthy rich and famous. Of course, we abandon our efforts halfway through so that we can start brainstorming Halloween costumes with your parents' old clothes in the attic. And then we abandoned that plan, because your parents are super boring and have nothing fun up there, to create rules for our very own tag game. And after a few rounds of that, we then decide it's actually pretty stupid. We go back to the comic, only now we decide it's a script for our own radio show that we'll tape to cassette using your boombox. And even though none of these things are ever finished, we feel incredibly satisfied and happy, because we've explored the recesses of our vastly creative brains and have come to realize, in that childish way, that there are no limits to reality.
Hello, love the rain.
After a fantabulous return trip in the automatic, galactic, and erratic RetroDaze magic time machine, we find ourselves back in 2024, occupying our contemporary bodies, and man, boy does it feel old and creaky by comparison. See if you Advil in my future. I hope you all enjoyed today's trip into the not-so-distant past, where we discovered that rainy days weren't really all that bad. We were still young and full of imagination, and with only a mere 2 weeks of summer left, we weren't about to give up an entire day. So what do you say? If a rainy day hits this August, how will you spend your time? I'd love to hear about it down in the comments, and if you enjoy our content, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and maybe even activating that ubiquitous notification bell. It really does make a huge difference. Let's meet again next week to celebrate Yesteryear, right here on RetroDaze.
Clikey, clikey.